On this aptitude problems, that is number systems, and it's a sequence test. Now let us see the first problem here. What do you have? There are two types of sequences which you have, this and this, and this with respect to this, and this with respect to this, and this again, like that. So what you see the difference is from here to here. If you look at this, so the difference is minus 2.5, right? And if you notice the next sequence, which is 1 and 3.5, the difference is again that is 2.5, right? Further, if you look at the other sequence, so the difference here you find is that is minus 5, and here again you will be having plus 5, like that, and so on. So if you further try to calculate that, so now it reaches to such certain level that I want the next sequence, that is I have to deduct that, so that would be 85 minus 10, okay, 75. So this is the first sequence, okay. There is a out of two interwoven sequence, we have the first sequence, and if you notice the next these two are targeted, that's what I'm trying to explain. So this should be plus 10, so this will be 26. So these are the two missing numbers, or the sequences, interwoven sequences, right? Let us continue to solve another problem here. What we have now, if you look at this, these two, now the difference is 9. That is, if you add these 5 plus 4, which is 9, 2 digits, and 4 plus 5, again this is 9. Again these two, if I add, it is 9, right, and so on. So what would be the solution for this? Let us see that. So when you add these two numbers, and if you find these differences is also 9, right? Now the missing number should be, adding to this number. So 1 plus 1, which is 2. So I have to deduct this 110 with minus 2. So this is 108. So this is the required sequence. So let us move on to the next problem here. You have, that is 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on. So if you look at this, the first one, you have these two. So when this is added, okay, fine, right. So again, if you look at this, again the next that is 2 and 3, so it is added again, like that. If you see, this would be plus 1, plus 1. Again, if you see the next sequence, again it is plus 2 and plus 2, right, plus 3, again plus 3, and plus 5 and plus 5. So if we add that, so 21 plus 5, which results 26, right? So this is the first sequence which I would get, and the next one, which is 26 plus 5, so that would be 31. So this is the next sequence, 31, right? Let us look at another problem here. What we have, so you have 5, 26, and so on. So if I multiply 5 to the first number, I get 25, and you notice that 26 is the number, so if I add that, so I get 26. Okay, and so on. If I move on, so if I multiply 5 here, right, 656, so I get that as 3280. So I have to add 1 to this, so 3281. So this is the solution for this, right? Okay, let us move on to the next problem here. What do we have is 1971.4 and so on. Now if you look at this, the difference of these two is 0.6, and if I look here, the difference is exactly 28.6, right? So again the difference is again 28.6. so now I want this result here. What do I get is 885.6, and if I deduct with 28.6, so I arrive into 857. So this is the required result. Okay, now let us move on to the next problem here. What do you have is that is, when you multiply 1 with 1, okay, this is first one, so I get 1. Okay, again if I multiply 1 with 3, I get the next sequence, right? So again the next should be multiplied with 5, so 3 into 5, so that would be 15 for the next one, and 15 into 5, which is 105. So this is 15 into 7, right? 15 into 7. Okay, 15 into 7 here, so that is 105, and now I got 105. Now 105 into 9, so this would lead to 945. So this is the solution for this. Okay, let us look at next problem here. What do we have now? If you look here, the difference is 36. Okay, and if you look, the difference here is also 36. So again this is also 36, also this 36, so overall I get 36. So 72 plus 36, so I get 108. So this is the solution. Now let us look at next problem here, which we have as 1, 1 and 2.5, 3.5 and so on. So there are two interwoven sequence here. Now when this is the first sequence, if I consider, okay, so this if you look at, the difference is 1.5, okay, and you have another sequence here. Now the difference is 2.5 here and so on. So if I want this sequence, so I have to add 1.5, so that is 5.5 plus 1.5, which results to 7, right? I got the first result, and I want the second one, so you have to add 2.5 here, so that is 8.5 plus 2.5, which is 11, right? Let us try to solve another problem here. That is, you have, now if you notice that, so 1 multiplied with 2, I get 2 as the first one, right, this one. And again, if 2 is multiplied with the 3, I get 6, the second sequence. Now again, what I noticed here is if I multiply with the 2, I'll get 12, the next is sequence. So and so on, if I continue that. So 216, right, 216 is multiplied with the 2, I get 432. This is the first number which I would get. And this one has chosen 1 as 432 multiplied by 3, so I get 1296. So this is the next sequence which we get. I hope you got this. Now let us look at the next problem here. What do we have is again these two interwoven sequences, these two, right? Now look at the differences here. When it starts with 14, so when you add 24, so it results 28. So here when you add 16, so this results 32. So I need to look at this. So this should be this is 14, right? 14 is 28. Now 56 plus 14, which results to 70, right? And 64, right? Another one sequence, that is plus 16, I get says 80. So these two are the sets, right?